ASEAN program that lowers tariffs for units traded among the partners also contributed to this. So that in year 2010, out of the 221,000 units, only 75,000 units were locally manufactured vehicles. Next, please. The strengths and weaknesses. It's not all threats. We do have strengths and growth potential for our industry, and this I'd like to quantify. Total production capacity of the industry is in the range of 250,000 units average. Some firms, of course, given that we are producing only 72,000 units, that brings the average utilization rate of our capacities to only between 35 to 40%, depending on each firm. Some firms have a higher level of utilization. So that presents a very large potential investment in place that we can use to expand the industry. The Philippine population is estimated to grow to about 101 million by the end of July 2011. There are many different forecasts, but it's all in this range. So that is a very large population base against which the vehicles can be marketed. Per capita income in the Philippines has been recorded at $2,299 in year 2010. Economists around the globe, and as experienced by different countries, have set about 2,500 per capita income levels as the breakout point, during which time the economies across the board experienced a boom in the production and sales of houses, of appliances, and of course the largest big-ticket item that the consumer buys, a vehicle. So we're on the cusp of that breakout. We have a competitive automotive parts and components sector already exporting in 2010 3.2 billion, and if I recall right, 2011 is estimated at about 3.4 to 3.5 billion. So this is not a dream, this is a reality that we are already in. And lastly, we have abundant supply of skilled and technical manpower. We're just not talking about assembly workers here. We're talking of engineers, technicians who know the stuff that needs to be done for production of vehicles, parts, and components. And we have this already in place, trained, and directly usable. And it really would be a crime if we don't use these facilities to expand and develop an automotive industry that can truly be internationally and globally competitive. Opportunities. So we have that as in-country. As Mr. Torres said, we have a 300,000 vehicle domestic potential demand by year 2015. This was estimated assuming that the economy from 2011 to 2015 will grow at approximately the same level as the economy grew from 2006 to 2010. Very achievable, it's been done before, and we can do it again. If just 60% to 70% of this demand, which is about 180 to 210,000 units, is locally produced, that will bring us, that will allow us to attain a level of economic scale that will make our vehicles and parts makers truly globally competitive. So the demand potential is there. Number two, the opportunity that ASEAN presents is real. Okay? As a matter of fact, we in the automotive industry have been already experiencing that, except that we have been on the receiving end. We have been importing a lot of the CPUs, completely built up units that already came in from ASEAN, primarily from Thailand and Indonesia. If we therefore do not wake up, we will completely stay as recipients of that ASEAN open market, common market trade that will fully start in 2015. So it is estimated that we already have the capability to actually participate more meaningfully in that trade if we expand our automotive vehicle and parts production capabilities. Lastly, the 101 million population is there already, and we have only a 3.4 vehicles per 100 person ratio, ownership ratio, that is very low even compared to other ASEAN neighbors. So if the economy grows at the rate we are expecting and at the rate as projected, that vehicle population ownership ratio will expand and add even more to the potential demand we are talking about that is available to be tapped by the local automotive manufacturing sector. So those, ladies and gentlemen, are the opportunities, the threats, and the challenges and growth potential that we have for the local economy and translated into demand for production of vehicles and components. Okay, what is this new motor vehicle program we're talking about? And what are its long-term objectives? Right now, we have a motor development program that was focused. This was developed way back, and we've been around for some time. And this was developed with the target in mind of producing in CKD form vehicles for the local market. The focus was vehicle production was for the local market, and that vehicle production required local content, localization of certain parts and components. This was made a requirement by government so that the tariffs, the taxes on the imported parts of those vehicles are brought lower. The second objective was to encourage and grow the parts and components manufacturing sector, which would supply to this CKD production side. And a third objective was that same company that produces parts and components for the local vehicles produced would export their components. That would give them the chance to grow in quality-wise and grow dollar earnings so that the industry can prepare for the ultimate goal, long-term goal at that time of producing vehicles also for local and for exports. Now we want to refocus that development program into the following 5 items, defining the program now or the industry in the following terms. No? Number 1, we wanted the program to yield full industry development in terms, and how do we define that? In terms of producing vehicle models for local sales as well as export. In short, making the Philippines as a base of production for certain models for each brand principal that will be used for export to the ASEAN region. This would give meaning to the point of Mr. Torres that we become a full-time alternate ASEAN production hub for vehicles for the brand principals. Second objective is local production, increase local production of critical major parts to support the competitiveness of these local and export models. Although we have a local manufacturing industry for parts and components, we still lack certain parts and components, critical major parts and components that are not yet produced here. We have to bring those in if we are to have a truly competitive sector.